Prompting is dead, is something I would have said 6 months ago. When OpenAI first launched ChatGPT, it was very important how you worded your prompting. So if I said, create a report for me that outlines the history of dogs, it would have done it, but it would have been very generic. It would have not given me the details I was looking for. It would have been in a writing style that felt very generic. And so at that point in time, you started saying, act like this, act like that. And then the step up was act like a prompt engineer. Create for me a prompt that does this. And then the step up even above that was asking ChatGPT to ask you the questions it needed to give the prompt. So you would say, act like a prompt engineer. What information would you need to create a prompt about a report for dogs? And then AI would ask you all these questions. I need to know these 20 questions. And honestly, the first time this happened blew my mind. My brother was working on a court case and for child custody. And I went in and I was like, hey, help me write a prompt to create a petition for this certain situation in this court case. And it came back and said, I need these 20 pieces of information. So what is the answer to this, 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 this? Gave me 20 pieces of information. I answered those 20 pieces of information and it pumped out a 3-page legal document, essentially, that was completely ready to submit to the judge. And I was blown away. Now, or 6 months ago, I would say, you can say, hey, I need a court document for this. Here's my basic details. Fill in the rest with brackets and go. And it would have just pumped it out. You didn't need to jump through all the hoops. Basically, what the AI companies did was they created in their prompt stack, the amount of prompts behind the scenes that you don't see, they wrote in a prompt that just said, interpret this and create a better prompt and then answer the better prompt, right? And so you could ask really lazy questions and it would just create it. Earlier, I made a video about a Nest Wi-Fi question that I had and how GPT-5 was struggling to answer it. And in that, I just asked, how do I access the back end of Google Nest if it's in switch mode? And there's a lot of Google Nest products. Switch mode can mean a lot of things. That's a very lazy prompt. And it gave me a very lazy answer. But it's like we've gone backwards a year to where prompting now matters a great deal again. So a year ago, we had to be very careful on our prompting to get a very specific answer. And then it got better, 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 better. You didn't need prompting so much. You didn't need to talk about voice. It just kind of got you. Now, since ChatGPT 5 is auto-selecting, if your prompt is lazy, it's going to give you a lazy model. And so the quality of your prompt is now exponentially more important than it was 2 weeks ago. So we went to this place where it was like, prompting is so important, there's going to be jobs for prompt engineers, right? There's going to be jobs for people to create prompts. And then AI was like, no, I can create the prompt for you. And then in the background, AI is like, actually, don't even worry about it. I'll do it without even telling you I'm doing it. And now we're back to this. If you want quality content, the output of the AI will be affected greatly by the quality of your prompt. And so I think this is going to be a short-lived problem. The companies developing AI have been historically very good at seeing the bottlenecks and fixing them and seeing where people are struggling using the platform and fixing it. So do I think OpenAI is tanked, is doomed? Do I think that suddenly for the rest of eternity we're going to have to be very specific on our prompting? No, I think we will come back to a day where you can give AI just a general conversational prompt and it will be able to pump it out. But right now, just know it is very important that you pay attention to your prompting. Put lots of details. Make sure you give very explicit outputs. This is what I want you to output. This is how I want it to look. This is how I want it to feel. This is what I need you to research. These are the things I don't know. There's a huge difference between synthesizing information and creating new information and summarizing information. And AI needs to know which one of those you're expecting it to do. So do you need a prompting guide at this point? No. But think of AI at this moment, GPT-5 specifically. Think of GPT-5 as a new employee that you need to be communicating information, or even a child that you're trying to tell a new task to. So if you walked into your kid who's, let's say, Billy in 5th grade, if little Billy is there and you're like, hey, I need a report on turtles, you need to explain what that is, right? So GPT-5 is a new model, and think of it as it's in its infancy, and you will get drastically better results by simply taking the time to build proper prompts.